Let's talk about Steven Spielberg's newest film. It's called Disclosure Day. It comes out on Friday. It centers on a government's cover-up of extraterrestrial intelligence and the race to broadcast the truth of their existence. Here's a clip.
What did you steal?
Secrets. The data they paid me to protect.
Are they people?
No.
All right, joining us this morning is Garry Nolan. He's a professor of
Pathology.
Yes. Okay, very interesting, at Stanford University School of Medicine, and the executive director of the board for the Soul Foundation, which brings together experts on unidentified anomalous, did I say that right?
I think so.
Anomalous phenomena, or UAPs.
UAPs. Professor, help us.
Clearly, Professor, I graduated from college in the 90s when all I cared about was surfing and extracurricular activities. But so let's talk about this. You've said it was one of Spielberg's other famous films that inspired you to go down this career path. Tell us about that.
Well, literally one of the first ones that got me going was Spielberg's Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It captured, I think, for the public, at least at that time, the zeitgeist of what people thought UAP were, or UFOs called at the time, and what individuals who might have come into interactions with so-called abductions or things like that. Interestingly, in that film is a French scientist played by, I think, Claude Lacombe. Sorry, the name of it was Claude Lacombe, played by Francois Truffaut, who's actually styled against a personal friend of mine, Jacques Vallée, who had been involved in this for 40, 50 or more years. And what I think in the new film Spielberg approaches in a wholly different way is a much more modern and up-to-date and probably more informed by data and things that people had been coming out and saying about what actually might be happening and what the phenomena might allegedly, and I'm being very careful here, what it might allegedly represent, because it's very hard to encapsulate within a complex film something which seems to be many different things all at the same time. So I'm looking forward to the film. Unfortunately, I haven't seen it yet, but I've watched every trailer several times, trying to eke out whatever clues I can.
So, Professor, you were inspired by Spielberg. Spielberg, of course, is inspired by extraterrestrial activity. He has said that based on everything that he knows and all that he has studied, he does believe that it is likely that aliens exist if they're not already here. What do you believe, given the fact that through your work you've personally analyzed things that you believe are not of this world?
So actually, I've been saying something very similar to what Spielberg recently said in an interview about, that if something is here, it's likely been here a long time and probably predates human civilization. I mean, look, the universe is 14 billion years old. By 2 billion years after the universe started, all of the elements of life were available: carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, hydrogen, et cetera, some of the lighter metals. So we've had 12 billion years for somebody to evolve and produce, let's say, technologies that could have allowed them to travel great distances, even given the amount of time. So humans are, we're barely a couple of thousand years out of the caves, and already look at the AI that we've got and what it might be capable of.
That's true.
So, my interest in this is how is it that such technologies might represent things we don't understand, and how might scientists be brought into the fold to look at it and answer the question as what is the data, not what are the conclusions. Don't start with a conclusion that it is or it isn't something. Start with a conclusion of what might it be based on the data. And if I can get other scientists to believe in the data and believe the methods by which the data was collected, then that's a conversation that starts a real scientific process. So to your point about the materials that I've received, frankly, most of the materials I received have been from Jacques Vallée, who's collected them in chains of evidence of their collection for decades.
And what are those materials, Professor? What are
Pardon?
they? What are these materials?
These are metals that seem to have been left behind, or in some cases dropped off the craft. The most famous one that I'm aware of, well, there's two of them. The one is Council Bluffs, Iowa. Multiple witnesses, molten metal on the ground. What it is and why an object would need to drop, molten metal off the craft. Well, maybe it's just like their exhaust. I don't know. I mean, I'm just speculating. But what it was metals mixed in an unusual way, metals that we wouldn't normally put together. Another one I have is from Ubatuba, Brazil, where it's nearly pure silicon, 99.999% silicon, back in the 1950s, made at a time when humans weren't doing that, with, again, anomalous isotope ratios. Isotopes are flavors of an element. Silicon has 3 flavors, let's say. Magnesium has 3 isotopic flavors. You know, anywhere on Earth you look, you're going to find the same isotopic flavor mix. But these came with a different mix for no good reason that a human would ever make. So it doesn't prove anything. It just says, why would somebody do this? And so my hope is in the development of technologies to look at such materials and hopefully get a hold of some of the materials that are claimed to be behind the scenes, is that we could get some sense of how they're built and then maybe elucidate from that principles or understandings that we don't have. And as I've said many times, look at how silicon itself has changed our civilization. Everything we do today is based on silicon, all the AI. And so what might new discoveries allow us to do?
Okay, Professor Garry Nolan, giving us lots to think about.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you. Thank you for your work.
Thank you.
I'm quite tickled by that.
I mean, it was.
And terrifying.
I mean, I was as rapt as I was in my college astronomy class.